What's going on, guys? This is obviously Jordan here, back in another video, and at this moment in time, this shirt literally just came out of the washing machine. It's still wet, but it's the only way to get by. In the temperature, it's like 30, literally, look at that, 30 degrees in the UK. I don't know why, but this is the way. And because of that, I've literally been sitting around all day, like, need to do a video. But what I'm finally decided on doing is the final 2 follow-up episodes. Obviously, it's going to come out as 2 different episodes, but we're going to sit down now and talk about following up to, Black Lives Matter opinion corner that I put out last year, and also the football one following up as well. So that's going to be the next 2 videos for day 22 and 3, I think, of the channel. I have no idea where we are right now. I've kind of bulk recorded, but yeah, we're kind of in this video at least. We're going to talk about the Black Lives Matter opinion corner. A little follow-up just to tell you guys like what I'm thinking now. And most importantly, like what actionable steps I've taken since that video, and maybe what you guys can do as well. So in the previous video, I talked a lot about, a lot of it was based on what happened, the murder of George Floyd back in 2020, and a lot of things that happened between like June and July, well, May, June and July, like I say, and even, to be fair, throughout history in many ways, but that video at least was prompted by, the events of June 2020, May 2020 as well, and that led to me, of course, making the video, talking about Black Lives Matter, being black in general, my own thoughts and experiences as a black man in the UK. And this video again serves as like a little follow-up to that, because I think a lot of people, the opinion corner in general, started up a lot of conversation. I spoke to a lot of my friends about different matters, but I think it's important again, like once you have that discussion, to kind of follow up and address like what are the actual actionable steps you can take, and where I'm going with it. The one thing that I want to start off by saying, there's this community called Kwanda. I think I've mentioned it like here and there in other videos, but it's like KWANDA. I'll put the link in the description below. And that is by far the best actionable thing that I've done, the best action I've taken since that video. So what Kwanda, how they work, it's kind of hard to explain it in my own words. In hindsight, I should have just got the website in front of me. But they're basically like a community where they operate as like a pot, a financial pot. So you can subscribe to it, and every month you can send them the same amount of money each month, which is like a direct debit, which you decide yourself. It can be like £1, £2, all the way up to how much money you want to send them per month. I'm currently sending them £3 a month. Not right now, because on a sabbatical. They're figuring some things out. I think Jeremy, the guy who runs it, Jermaine, the guy who's in charge of it, and he's like, the whole team have taken like a little break, a sabbatical, to like reevaluate, think about how they're going to actually attack this moving forward. ECT. ETC, I keep saying ECT because it's easier to say, but it's not right. So, etc. But Kwanda, like as I said, you donate money each month. And then they always have these like ongoing votes and projects like, should we put some money in towards this or in towards that? But yeah, that's Kwanda. They do a lot of great stuff. I strongly recommend everyone, black, white, Asian, no matter who you are, where you're from, if you have spare change. I mean, £3 a month is like a coffee. I don't even buy coffee like that anyway, but it's like you're giving up one drink every month to donate to this cause that is far bigger than us. I do think it's crazy. I always hear people say like, oh, I saw Fish documentary #1 and stopped eating meat, but like you've been watching documentaries about Black lives for years, you play black music, and you haven't made a single actionable change towards like you're prepared to change your whole diet, but you're not prepared to put down like what £2 a month to something important. So I've always been skeptical of people that that kind of ride off of certain habits, not necessarily people that eating habits, that's not what I mean, but it's like I like consistency, and Kwanda operates in a way that helps you be consistent. You can just set it up one time, set and forget, and then know that you're doing a good thing. Obviously, it's nice to do more, but Kwanda's like, I just couldn't not mention that as soon as the video started recording. What I've also done, I think it's important. I had a good podcast with Jamila and Shola from Youth Unlocked, and their podcast episode, I don't know if it's still up. They haven't uploaded in a while on that platform. But we did a podcast basically talking about like 2021, our goals for this year, reflecting on last year. And one of the goals that I kind of set out during that video was that I wanted to be more like family oriented. It's great to be like, oh yeah, black community, da 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 da. But like, what about your literal, your own community, your own people, friends, family, neighbors? And that's something that I want to take forward. Like I want to talk to my brothers more about like what it means to be black. That the actual world out there, in the wild. And not just that, I want to focus more on my own education, understanding, like doing more reading. I bought a Carla's book. I haven't received it yet from Amazon. I only bought it like a couple hours ago. But Carla's book. I want to learn more about my culture, learn more about the experiences of people before me in the UK. And then that's probably the best way we can think about how to make consistent change over time. It's hard to just sit here and be like, oh yeah, let's just do this. Let's actually think like what is the root cause of these problems? How long have they been going on for? And how can we actually make steps towards changing them or to improving our lives instead of, again, just like throwing out random videos talking smack. Again, if you have any opinions on that, if you think I'm right or wrong about anything, find the corner down below in the comments and let me know about it. But for the sake of this video, for this opinion corner follow-up, which isn't actually in a corner, it's just me talking to a camera, that's kind of my perception. I want to just understand as much as I can, not just for the sake of knowing things. Like, I do like knowing things, but on this topic, it's more about how can I improve things, how can I make changes, and what do I need to know in advance to make those changes, instead of just, again, saying that I'm going to change things. One thing that I think is interesting, that is even more prominent after the Euros incident that we saw of, Saka, Rashford and Sancho missing the penalties, is that I feel like a lot of people that, maybe not literally a lot of white people per se, are people that don't, I guess it mostly is white people, the people that don't get it, the people that don't go through racial abuse on a consistent basis. One thing that I think is important to mention is that to many people that don't go through it, they seem to think that these things are instantaneous. Like, it's like Saka missed a penalty, he got abused, and then that was it. And people seem to think now it's all completely fine. What many people don't realise is that things come to light, things are more obvious in certain circumstances, such as the Euros final. But it's not like a new thing. Like, I'm sure Saka always gets mad comments. I always hear mad stuff on the streets. You always feel, you're never really made to feel like you belong here. There's always going to be some level of like differentiation between us and them. And I think it's interesting to note that when I put these videos out, it's not like, oh, George Floyd happened, therefore racism exists. It's like, the murder of George Floyd is a symptom of the problem. The problem still exists. The problem will always exist. It's something that goes on consistently, and it's very, very annoying. So just, if you're out there and you don't, you're thinking that why is he putting this video out at this time, it's literally because these issues aren't temporary. It's not instantaneous. Like, it's a consistent problem that needs to be fixed, and that's why, like, it's very, very important that we continue, making a front, making a stand against these issues. It's not like, oh, in the Premier League they took a knee last season, now it's fine. Like, it's not fine at all. If the Euro showed you anything, it's not fine at all. Not even in football, like one of the purest sports out there. So that's just something to bear in mind. Like, these problems are consistent, and they're going to have to be consistently battled as well. You can't just let, the second you stop fighting, the second that it kind of like overrules you, overruns everything. So yeah, I'm trying my best to kind of stay focused on this problem. Like, obviously I'm still focused on other things as well, like my own life, university, academics, a YouTube channel. But it's important to remember that this fight is a consistent one. It's a constant one. It's not just about to end. It won't be done until it's done. And it won't even be done for me. Like, when I say it won't be done until it's done, there's always going to be people that will maintain these beliefs. It's more about having, my kids or their kids not have to grow up in a world like this. But that's who we're fighting for. Not so much for today, but it's for tomorrow. The last thing, all these follow-ups have been far shorter than the actual opinion corner videos themselves, but the last thing that I want to discuss is like investing in black businesses. It's difficult in the UK because I've noticed that there just aren't as many black businesses, or the ones that do exist are kind of harder to identify. I had this idea that I would like make an app. I mean, obviously it was a bit it was a bit ambitious, but I'd have like an app that would list all the black-owned businesses in the area. So if you type in, like, kind of like how Happy Cow works, the vegan app, all these other apps that operate in a particular niche where you just put down your location, it brings up apps, restaurants or barbershops or from the area. That's something that I kind of wanted to organize myself. I don't actually have the expertise to do that. This is an interesting chat for another day, but something that's very, very interesting if you're in software development or engineering or any technical field. Like 95% of the jobs in this industry are from startups, SMEs, small companies of less than 200 people. If you actually sit down one day and like, it's hard to find startups. Me myself, I kind of dabble in venture capital. Like, I kind of know what's going on in the scene. I feel like Bristol kind of allows me to do that. When living in London as well. But there are a lot of things going on. And if you do have any like expertise in like app development, full stack development, any technical thing, don't come to me. Like, I don't know what to do with that. But definitely take a look at more like startups, maybe not venture capital per se, big, and startups, SMEs. That's where you're going to get not just the best experiences in terms of like having real responsibilities, but that's really where you're going to make the biggest impact as well. If you're just part of a cog, part of the machine at Google, it's a great job. I want to work at Google. I'm the one telling you that I want to work at a startup, but I still dream of being at Google one day. There's still a lot to learn, a lot to gain from working at startups, and especially if you have a technical background. We're very, very well, highly sought after, so take a look at that. Maybe drop me a comment or something, and I might try and make a video about this later on when I've done more research and know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's a cool little thing to mention as well. But where that came from, I was talking about making an app for black-owned businesses. I think Google eventually put like a black sticker thingy on the app. If you go on Google Maps, you can see like a verified black-owned business. They have like a little tag thing, which it hasn't actually been very well marketed, but something that exists, and it's something that I think we need a lot more of, at least in the UK, so we know like what to do with it, because it's a bit jarring when it's like you start earning money and you start to think, you know, how can I give back? And literally everywhere you see, you're giving money back to the white man. You know, taxes, corporations, I don't know, fast fashion, all these like bad industries that you don't really want to be getting involved in, but there's no easy way to avoid it. So that's an interesting topic. I think investing in black businesses, what I try to do at least is, you know, you probably would have seen maybe have seen my review show episode 2 that I put out a couple of days ago, where I was just trying on clothes with my friends that like, have their fashion brands. And literally, like, the best way, again, I can think of like investing in black owned businesses is investing in, you know, my friends. My friends that are doing things, have their own businesses. Maybe they don't necessarily fit in. I'm not going to buy something that I don't need just for the sake of supporting someone, because I don't need it, and it's like, it doesn't really do them any justice. So I'm just buying it to hang up or like to give away or something. Maybe we can figure out like a business way for the YouTube channel, but otherwise, like, I don't really see how that could work. But I've always tried to get involved and try to help people in ways that I can and support them. And that to me is a far better way than, again, just going to Primark for the sake of it. But yeah, thinking of ways, more and more ways I can invest in black businesses, black-owned businesses, and just black people in general. Like, the black community just needs better support from each other, and that's something that I'm trying to work on. Again, I haven't really found the best way to do that. I know Google Maps has that feature, but it's more about just putting in the work. Like, it's not, you can't just go to Sainsbury's and be like, oh, I don't know where to buy good herbs and spices, so I just go to Sainsbury's. Like, just figure out. Ask someone, where can I buy plantain? And they'll point it out. You know, where can I buy good sriracha? And they'll point it out. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm on now. If anyone knows where I can buy a do-rag that's not Amazon, let me know. In Bristol, of course, in Bristol. Or maybe West London when I'm back home, but let me know. We'll get onto that in the future. But as of right now, that's it for this video. My shirt is finally starting to dry up, which is a problem because I'm starting to sweat a little bit. But yeah, thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Don't forget to smash the like button. Find your own corner down below in the comments if you have any other opinions of your own. And I'll chat to you in the next one. Peace.